Strange, odd, unusual, quirky, purpose-made, and some are just plain cool. It's just a variety of some bizarre tools, some gimmicky tools, some very handy tools, and a lot of them get used very frequently with me. Now this one is pretty cool. You guys have seen my laser tachometer that I have, and it's very accurate. It does a very good job. But check this one out. This is an RPM gauge with a bunch of different end attachments. But what's really neat about this one is that it measures RPM in 6-second intervals. You depress this button and then it will time out 6 seconds, and then you can pull it off of whatever it is you're checking your RPMs at, and it will register exactly what your RPMs are without you having to leave it on whatever it is you're checking RPMs on. Just kind of a neat little gimmicky gadget thing. But this is how they used to do it old school. Neat little old RPM gauge. As recently, I think I posted the video on these. These are sheet metal brakes, but just little handheld sheet metal brakes. A little gimmicky thing, but very, very, very handy when you need them. Straightening out sheet metal or what have you. This goofy little thing. That's a spark plug cleaner. A lot of people say, spark plug cleaners are junk. No. Sorry, but as long as my spark plugs test good, but I'm still not getting spark, I use this thing, I get my spark back. So they're cool. Something that every toolbox should have, especially if you're working in an environment where your tools are subject to getting borrowed, is an engraver. Get you a little engraver. Pawn shop, I think I paid $2 for that engraver. So all my tools get engraved. What's that goofy thing? That's a neat little slide hammer, seal puller, small seal and bearing puller. Another pawn shop find, dirt cheap. But anyway, another pawn shop find right here. That little red dot signified 25 cents. Anybody know what that is? If I turn this end, that end turns. Anybody know? I'll go ahead and tell you, because this isn't a what's it video. That is a carb tuning. Put your socket on the end of there, your screwdriver bit, whatever you need to put on there. Don't put it on. No, red dot, 25 cents. It's a snap-on. How's that for cool? Well, blue point, but snap-on. So that's just kind of neat. Look at the end of this, like screwdriver, but look at the end of this screwdriver. What do you think that's for? Wow, you ever have those springs that are just a real big pain in the butt to press off or to pull on? That's what that is. It's got a V-notch in the top, then it's got the hook. Very, very handy, very, very cool tool to have. What do we got here? A lot of people will know what that is. That is a safety wire plier. Pinch the wires in there and you just pull. These will spin and it twists your safety wire. Pretty cool. Okay, this goofy little thing. I should have grabbed a piece of wire for it so I could demonstrate it. But what is that? Do I have? Yeah, I think I got some wire small enough here. What is this? A buddy of mine got that for me. Just a piece of bar stock, but it's been machine cut and grooved here on the ends. Let me straighten that out here as best I can. Okay. Imagine this is a throttle cable and you need to do your Z-bend in it. This little guy right here makes your Z-bend. There's a hole in the end of it. See the hole there? Put that in and you simply bend to the back just like so, so you get a 90-degree bend. Then you twist it around I know you guys didn't see that, so yeah. Put that back in there. Get it up here so you can see. You can see the groove. You just spin it around so that your wire goes, I'm fumbling, so that your wire goes into that groove, and then you bend again. Then you simply twist and release, and there's your Z-bend for your throttle and choke cables. How cool is that? Neat, nifty, gimmicky, but very handy. Cable wires for your household television cable, internet wire. Specialty. Another kind of wire crimper dealio. Anybody know what that is? You mechanics will know what that is right off the bat. You can see the hole right here. That's there on purpose. What is that? It's for making custom set lengths of spark plug wires. This is your crimp. Neat little specialty tools. What's that? Electricians will know what that is right off the bat. What is that? What is that? Made by Klein. What is it? It's a reamer for reaming out your conduit. Getting the edges flaring and whatnot on your conduit. Not flaring, but just a reamer. Just odd and unusual tools. What's that tiny little thing? Look at that. That's a strange looking tool right there, isn't it? Automotive electrical mechanics will know what that is. That is for releasing your contact wires from your connectors. Push that up in, it releases the tab, you're able to pull your wire out. Specialty tool, made just for that. Works awesome. What else we got? Here's a little homemade dealio. This is pretty cool. In fact, I'll go ahead and plug it in for you guys and let you see it. But that's just an outlet checker. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat. It's an outlet checker. Just very plain and very simple. Filled with epoxy, and it has just an inductive lamp at the end of it. And it was filled in with epoxy here. But when you plug it in, here, let's just swing this around just a little bit so you guys can see. I'll plug it in, and what do you know? I've got a good outlet there. It's a neat little handheld or handmade deal. And I love handmade tools. I think they're awesome. Speaking of handmade, what's that? No, it's not handmade, but if we look over here, we see my big vise. Well, sometimes what you're working on is really, really, really small. Hi guys. Let me get back down here. I kind of got my camera all screwed up now. There we go. Okay. Well, it's just a handheld vise. You put your work in there, tighten it down, then you can get in there with your file or whatever you're working on, your little pliers or whatever. Little handheld vise. Just something quirky, neat and nifty. What's that? You see the end in it? Well, you guys will be familiar with what that is. But, again, a specialty tool. Valve stem removal tool. And I like that it's got an actual handle instead of being one of the little valve cap stem removals that are hard to get a hold of. This gives you a lot more leverage. Anyway, there's that. And here's another specialty tool. Anybody know or recognize what that is? Well, if you've ever had to take a door panel off of a vehicle with a flathead screwdriver, you know how frustrating it is that you break just about every clip and have to order new clips, go buy new clips, or go to the junkyard and try to luckily salvage some clips off of a door panel. That is a door panel removal tool. It gets up in between, grabs a hold of the clip so that the clip is secure, and then it has the angle on it to pry so that you can get your door panel off effectively. Specialty tool. It's kind of nifty. Already went through that. Teeny tiny little, unassuming, looks like a trailer plug-in that is just missing the wires. Well, you flip it over, you see those three little shiny things. Those are light indicators. They tell you if your parking lights, left and right turn signal, and brake lights are working, so that you don't have to connect directly to a trailer after you're done wiring your vehicle. Teeny tiny little unassuming thing. Super, super handy. Also helps you with troubleshooting if you've got a bad wire. And this thing with a screwdriver on the end of it and what looks like a wrench on the end of it. Well, that's not a wrench. It's a bottle cap opener. Then we got serrations in here. What are those serrations for? For opening big jars. We've got a smaller one here for smaller jars, like a Tabasco jar. Let me flip it over and what do you got? Well, that's weird looking. Bottle caps. Twist type bottle caps. Clamp on, twist it. Or, used to have those little rubber line aluminum deals that you'd press over a bottle of soda that you didn't drink the whole thing just to preserve it, keep the fizz in it. Well, these can also be used to put the cap back on tightly. So, and I know it's not a tool, but it is a tool. What else we got? It's neat. It's just, it's a really old set of ratcheting Allen wrenches. Just forward and reverse ratchet for really tight spaces. You'd be amazed at how handy these are. And we got a pair of pliers. Just your normal old ordinary everyday pliers, but these have a screwdriver on the end. See that? And then if pliers won't get it done, trying to get a nut off, you don't want to round the edges off, you can just use the adjustable wrench that's attached to it too. Isn't that wild? That just a cheap generic knockoff, you know, China made probably, but it doesn't even, yeah, it's got a slip joint. But anyway, I saw it, thought, yeah, this would be a good wall hanger, good conversation piece. Then we've got an odd and unusual shaped and bent wrench. Now I did look it up and I don't remember now. It's Blue Point, but this was made specifically for one purpose. Can you imagine getting a Blue Point or a snap-on tool and spending buku bucks for something that has one purpose? But anyway, that was just in pawn shop toolbox that wound up coming home with me. And very, very handy tool here. This is a Husky brand. Husky's a fairly good foreign brand. But what it is, should be pretty obvious. It's just a right angle screwdriver / nut driver. Ratcheting. But it has two ends. It has a 1/4 inch and a 5/16. Now I've got a couple sets of these. The other one I have is a Cobalt. And what's handy about these 5/16? Battery terminals. It's freaking sweet for battery terminals. They work great since they're ratcheting and they're fitted and have a real nice, it's almost a universal type, it's not just, you know what I'm saying, it's not just a 6-sided for that. I don't know if we can get in there and see. Yeah, you can see in there. It's almost universal, so you may be able to use it as, I don't know what the equivalent of a 4/4 inch is or 5/16 is, but whatever the equivalent metrics, it would probably work with this as well. But, and it just came with a bunch of different accessories. And I got this at a liquidation warehouse because it was missing just that one right there. That's all it was missing. I paid $5 for it. Now it's worth that just in saving busted knuckles trying to get battery terminals loose. And I believe these are standard. Let's see here. Nope, those are metric. So, had the metric. But anyway, there you go. This strange, weird quirky tools that were laying around, and it gave me a reason to make a weird ass video. So there you go. See anything here that you think might be handy? Maybe I gave you an idea, and you can hop on Amazon or wherever or what have you and find it. I pretty much described and told you what all of the tools were so that you could look them up and find them. So there you go. That's it. This is Zippo. I'm out. While I'm sitting here, and I just did the weird and quirky stuff, it's still piled up here as a matter of fact. I want to talk about tools in atmosphere. If you're working out in the field or whatnot, everybody knows your tools are going to get a little bit rusty. You can prevent the rust very easily, and I'm not saying a rust inhibitor, I'm saying a rust preventative. This stuff actually absorbs into the surface of metals and prevents rust. Ezox, yeah, it's for guns. But your tools, a lot of people, your tools are your lifeline. Grab you a can of Ezox. You will thank me. Plus it smells really cool. It smells good. Doesn't smell all petroleum based or anything like that. But anyway, no oily film, it dries to the touch. Triple action solvent, lubricant, and rust preventative all in one. So it will even help clean rust. So there you go. And I need to get a new can. I'm just about out. This stuff is awesome. And a very little bit goes a very long way. So I'll tack that on to the end of this weird, strange, quirky, and unusual tool video. Alright, Zippo. Later.